Hello everyone, welcome to ixamBee. Embrace the ixamBee learning experience for 50% faster preparation. The SEBI Grade A notification is out with an advance intimation. The detailed notification would be coming out on the 30th of October. I have been telling you about the details related to the exam pattern, the syllabus, and we'll continue to keep discussing these things in the upcoming videos as well. In this particular video, I'm going to talk more in detail about your paper 2, which remains common both in phase 1 and phase 2. In this video, we will discuss in detail the marks analysis of all the candidates who cleared phase 2 in 2024, and based on that, what should be your target score for your paper 2 in both the phases. So let's talk about this in detail. To summarize what the selection process is like, this is again based on the last few years recruitment cycle trend. In case any changes happen this year, we'll get to know on 30th October, and of course we will guide you accordingly. So phase 1 is qualifying in nature. Phase 2 is counted for your final selection, and it has an 85% weightage in the final selection, and this is followed by the interview, which is having a 15% weightage in your final selection. Phase 1 consists of two papers, paper 1 and paper 2. Paper 1 is your aptitude paper consisting of quant, reasoning, English and general awareness, and paper 2 consists of all the 6 subjects. We have talked in detail about phase 1, what your target score should be, how you should strategize in my previous video. In case you have not watched that, you will find the link in the description box. In phase 2, again, there will be two papers, paper 1 descriptive English, which will have a 1/3 weightage, and paper 2, which is all these 6 subjects as we have seen in phase 1, and it will have a 2/3 weightage. What is the meaning of 1/3 and 2/3 weightage is what we will also discuss further. An interview, as I stated, there will be an interview with the panel, which will have a 15% weightage. In this video, as I stated, I will be focusing more on paper 2, which is common in both your phases. In phase 1, it is the MCQ based, which will consist of 50 questions of 2 marks each, and you need to get a minimum 40%. In phase 2, again the same 6 subjects, 100 marks, but here there are 100 questions of 1 mark each and minimum 40% is needed. However, there is a merit based criteria used in phase 2, and that is why we will be discussing it in detail in this particular video. Okay, let's quickly have a look at the syllabus. The 6 subjects that are covered in your paper 2 include commerce and accountancy, which focus on the basics of accounts, certain accounting standards, your financial statements, including your balance sheet, profit and loss, and cash flow, how they have to be understood and analyzed basing ratio analysis, and also how they have to be presented as per the company law. Further, certain important transactions which are important in the capital markets, like your bonus shares, rights issue, ESOPs, buyback, how are they accounted for? Here, the next subject is management, which focus on the role of a manager, its leadership styles, how it can motivate and then communicate. In finance, you have a basic understanding of the financial system in India, followed by the financial markets understanding and certain general topics of finance like derivatives, what are the recent developments, financial inclusion, alternate sources of finance, and direct and indirect taxes and inflation. Next subject is costing, focusing on the concepts of costing and the methodology of costing under various kind of industries, and the analysis and cost control aspect covered through standard costing, marginal costing, and budgetary control. And last topic being lean systems, which can be a scoring theoretical topic. Next subject is your Companies Act, which focuses only on the 7 chapters out of the 29 chapters in the Companies Act. And last subject is economics, which focuses both on the micro and macroeconomics key concepts to help you understand how the financial system and the markets work. So this is your syllabus. Of course, we will keep coming out with more detailed syllabus and discussion and your strategies and the questions that have come in the past to help you prepare further. So please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you have still not done that. Let's come to phase 2. specifically, as I stated, in phase 2, paper 2 has a lot of importance. It also has importance in phase 1, but I have already discussed that in my previous video, as I stated, where I discussed in detail about phase 1 being one of the simplest phases to clear across regulatory bodies and how it has one of the highest selection rates. So please do watch that video if you have missed it. Coming here to phase 2, paper 2, I told they have mentioned minimum cutoffs, that is 30% and 40%, and aggregate cutoff of 50%. Why are these numbers given when we have a merit-based selection rate? This is because this is the minimum you need to achieve, for which you will, based on which you will further be considered for a merit selection. Say for example, if you end up getting in English 29 marks and you get 90 marks out of 100 even in general, even then you will not be considered for merit based cutoff, because you have missed this minimum criteria. Similarly, if you do get 30 here and say you get 40 marks here, you still need to get a minimum 50, which is 100 marks out of 200, to be able to be considered for the merit based cutoff, right? So this minimum is needed, but this is not the only criteria as it was in phase 1. Further, the other thing that is mentioned is the weightage. That means whatever marks you get, so if you get 30 marks here, this will be scaled down to 1/3 weightage and only 10 marks will be considered. If you get 40 here, then 2/3 weightage will be given to this, and that is the marks that will be considered. So that is the meaning of weightage, okay, which means that paper 2 is very, very important for you, okay. So let's take a scenario. Say for example, in paper 1, a student gets 58 marks out of 100. He has cleared the criteria. Yes, it is above 30. 1/3 weightage will be considered, which means these marks will be considered as 19.33. In paper 2, if the student gets 83 out of 100, yes, he will be considered because he's got more than 40. A 2/3 weightage being applied to this means his marks are 55.33, which cumulatively out of 100 will add up to 74.67, right? And in cumulative also, he has cleared the criteria of minimum 50% criteria. But will he be going to the interview? This will now depend on the merit based cutoff, okay. This is where the cutoff will play a play importance. Now let's have a look at another scenario where a student gets 38 marks. Yes, he has got it above 30. 1/3 weightage will mean 12.67 marks. If a person got 43, yes, again he has got above 40. A 2/3 weightage means he has got 28.67 marks out of in a cumulative out of 100 marks scenario. However, his total is 81 out of 200, which is where he will not be considered because he has not got 50% marks in aggregate, which is less than 100 marks he has got. In that case, he will not qualify irrespective of whatever the merit-based cutoff turns out to be. So this is the meaning of the weightages and the minimum cutoff criteria. I hope this is clarified. Now let's look at the marks of 2024 topper All India rank holder 1 Shruti Singh. These are her marks. She had got 60 marks in descriptive English paper 1 out of 100, 82.75, a very good score out of 100 in paper 2, which meant a cumulative score of 142.75. Giving 1/3 weightage, English paper got her 20, 55.17 in paper 2, which made her aggregate 75.17. Then even in the interview stage, she got very good score of 12.2 out of 15, making her cumulative score, this being reduced to 85% weightage to 63.89, plus adding her interview marks of 12.2, her final marks was 76.09. If you want to hear, you will find her success story on our YouTube channel. I'll give the link in the description box for you to hear if you want to hear this. Furthermore, if you compare these marks against the cutoff, against a cutoff of 75.17, against a cutoff of 66.50, she had attained marks of 75.17, and against a final cutoff of 69.3, she had got 76.09. Right? So this is what the topper had got last year. Given all this, what is your safe score that you should be focusing on for paper 2? And you should start focusing on paper 2 from day 1, as I told you, because it has the same syllabus. So you should focus from day 1, ensuring that you clear phase 1 and maximize in phase 2. Here is another very important data for you to look at. In phase 2, marks were released of all the 186 candidates who reached the interview stage. And out of these 186 students, if I look at their marks out of 100 for paper 1, the minimum was 31. And of course, it has to be because minimum criteria anyways to consider is 30. And the minimum marks, minimum was 31, and maximum marks that was scored in English was 61. If I talk about the average score of 186 students, in paper 1, average score was 46.3. If I talk about the paper 2, the minimum marks that the students who reached the interview stage got was 57.3, while the maximum was 89. So look at the seriousness of students who are reaching. They are scoring 89 out of 100, very high score. That means that is the level of preparation you should be doing. And the average was almost 78, right? So okay, if not 89, but you still see 78 is your average. So that is something one should definitely aim for your preparation for paper 2. If I talk about out of 200, the aggregate marks, which is a combination of your paper 1 and paper 2, 101 was the minimum and 142.8 was the highest, with average marks of 124.1 out of 200. Focusing on paper 2, as I stated, it is not that the topper had got 82.75, it is the highest score. The average score of students is also not very low, it is 78. To give you the numbers of 186 students, the students who got less than 60 in paper 2 were only 2 students. The students who got less than 70 was only 7 students, while the number of students who got less than the average was 91. 86 students had got a little, almost a little more than a little less than 50% number of students had got above 78 marks. So this is your competition that you have to beat to be able to ensure your name comes in the final list, and that is where you have to prepare very well for paper 2 from the day 1 itself. Am I scaring you? No, I am telling you the facts so that you start preparation right. Does that mean it is difficult for non-finance students to clear paper 2? Absolutely not. It is very, very easy if you know what to prepare, how much time to spend on which topic, where to study word by word, and where to strategize well, and how to ensure that your concepts are clear so that you can clear and aim for all the questions that come in the exam. For that, we are holding foundation classes for all the subjects related to your paper 2, also paper 1 that come in phase 1. These classes are starting from the 17th of October and we will conclude them by 29th to give you a base before the detailed notification is out for your exam preparation. If you need any other details related to this, you can download the exam guide from the description here, or write to us at hello@ixamBee.com, or call us at 920-552-4028. Wishing you all the best.